box cubed. If I had box cubed or my some shit cubed. Okay, if that's what y equals. Okay, if y is box cubed. Okay, what is y prime then? It's not 3 box squared because I have to do chain rule. It's 3 box squared times the derivative of the box. Okay, and that's what chain rule is.
Oh, we're gonna have to start putting the d over dx.
Now, you don't actually have to write the d over dx. That's just the notation if you were writing. What you really do is, in this case, that means that f prime of x. Okay, so I do 3 and then the box squared. So 3, and then my sum shit is 2x plus 3 squared. And then times, what do we say, the derivative of the shit? What's the derivative of 2x plus 3? 2. And so I never actually wrote this d dx, that's just my notation, right? I just performed, the derivative of whatever was inside. So 3 times 2 is 6, times 2x plus 3 squared. Does this start with the inside or the outside?
Outside.
Okay, so some people also like memorize this as, you take the derivative, the very, very most outside thing, and then you cross it out and work your way in. And sometimes I'll do that as well. So look up here for me for a minute and then you can copy down. But that's what sometimes I do when I'm doing this, is like if I think of it as, okay, like y equals 2x plus 3 cubed, what's the very most outside thing is the cubed. So I kind of cross out the cube and then do that derivative. What's the derivative of something cubed? 3 times something squared. Now, when I did that, see how I crossed it out? Now I did the derivative, the next inside, times 2. Right, so that's kind of like another way to think of it, is just working outside in. Okay, you can also just make a box and then do like derivative, the box times derivative, or the derivative, like the outside derivative box cubed times the derivative box, right? However you want to think of it. But that's kind of that chain rule. This is like the basics of chain rule. Now, when we get to something like the one underneath, we have to be careful with how it's written versus how is it actually. Remember I said sine squared theta is just kind of a shortcut?
Mm-hmm.
How do we really want to think of this if I was plugging it into a calculator? F of theta equals
squared.
sine theta in a parentheses like that, squared. And so you want to think of it this way, that'll help you out a lot if you think of it this way. So now, what would be my box?
3 pi over 4?
Sine theta.
Oh shit, I've been duped.
Yeah, what's the theta equals 3 pi over 4? That's for the equation, right? Because this is a normal line. So for a normal line, what do we need? We need an x1,
y1,
a y1,
and then slope,
an m, and then also a perpendicular m. So what was the theta equals 3 pi over 4? Which one does that one do?
X.
X1. How do I get y1?
Plug into the original.
Plug it into the original. So let's do f of 3 pi over 4.
It's just asking for the slope.
Oh, yeah, so do I even need to do that?
No.
No, I just need this one. Okay, so if I just need the slope, then we can go ahead and skip y1 and just jump down to m. Before I can do m, what do I need to find?
The derivative.
So I need to find the derivative f prime of x or f prime of theta. Okay, so we said it was box squared or some shit squared. What's the derivative of some shit squared? It's 2 times some shit, which is sine theta, to the what power? First, or I don't have to write that. And times, see how I left it alone? I left it original. Then times the derivative of the shit. What's the derivative of the shit?
Cosine.
Cosine theta. Yeah, and if it helps you to write it, you could kind of write off on the side like 2 box times d dx of the box. So now I want that derivative for m, I want to get that derivative, at 3 pi over 4. I should have done f prime of 3 pi over 4. So that's how I'm going to get m is plug in 3 pi over 4. What's sine of 3 pi over 4? Radical over 2, positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive, because think all students take calculus. Which quadrant is 3 pi over 4 in? The second one. Right, one less than. Okay, and then times cosine of 3 pi over 4 would be negative rad 2 over 2 because that's in the sine quadrant. So it's negative. So here, we're gonna have a lot of canceling.